Branson Kayne Perry was born February the 24th, 1981 and raised in Skidmore, Missouri. He graduated from Nodaway High School in 1999. After graduating, he worked odd jobs including working as a roofer and helping maintain a travelling petting zoo in the area. Perry resided with his father at 304 West Oak Street in Skidmore. His parents were recently divorced. Perry also suffered from a condition that made his heart race excessively. Perry was also a black belt. On the afternoon of April the 11th, 2001, the day of Perry's disappearance, Perry invited his friend Jenna over to his house to help clean the residence, as Bob, Perry's father, had recently been hospitalised and was due to return home. At this same time, two other unnamed men were outside the residence working on Bob's car, which needed a new alternator. At approximately 3 p.m, Perry told Jenna he was going to take a pair of jumper cables outside to a shed adjacent to the house. This would be the last time Perry was seen. On April the 12th, the day after Perry's disappearance, Perry's grandmother, Joanne, stopped by his home and found the house unlocked and deserted. She found this unusual and called the residence periodically over the next several days, but got no answer. Upon calling Perry's mother, Rebecca, she found she had not spoken to him either. Bob, Perry's father, was discharged from the hospital several days later than planned, and after his release, he and Rebecca filed a missing persons report on April the 17th. Ground search parties were organised by the Nodaway County Police Department within a 15-mile radius of the Perry residence. Numerous fields, farms and abandoned buildings were searched, but the efforts proved fruitless. During a search of the property, police were also unable to locate the jumper cables Perry had left to return to the shed. 2 weeks later, however, they were found just inside the door. Over the following month and a half, over 100 people were interviewed in Perry's disappearance. Jenna, who had been at the Perry home the day of his disappearance, admitted to law enforcement that he had recently been experimenting with marijuana and amphetamines. Law enforcement questioned drug acquaintances of Perry's in St. Joseph, but all stated they have not seen him and each passed polygraph examinations. Further investigation into the local drug trade was undertaken, but no leads were uncovered, despite rumours that Perry owed drug dealers money. Another detail would be reported on the day of Branson's disappearance. In the middle of cleaning, Branson would abruptly go into the kitchen and take something from a cabinet and go outside. When he came back, he would not tell Gina what he had taken from the cabinet or why he had gone. When they were done cleaning, Gina took a shower. On coming out of the bathroom, she saw one of the men who had been outside working on the car going through a cabinet in the kitchen. It is unclear if Branson knew the man was in the house. Gina would ask the man what he was looking for, but he would tell her nothing and go back outside. Over the next 2 years, numerous rumours and theories circulated. Bob, Perry's father, initially suspected that his son had left to stay with friends in Kansas City, and because Perry did not have a working car at the time, Bob presumed he may have hitchhiked. Another mystery in the case is regarding the jumper cables. The police initially did not locate them on their first search. However, 2 weeks later they were found just inside the door. Is it possible that Perry went to meet somebody and the jumper leads were then returned 2 weeks later, or did the police just miss them and they was there all along? On April the 10th, 2003, law enforcement arrested Jack Wayne Rogers, a 59-year-old Presbyterian minister and Boy Scout leader. Rogers was arrested on charges of first-degree assault and practicing medicine without a license. While investigating Rogers' personal belongings, detectives discovered child pornography on his computer, as well as evidence of various posts made on message boards under the names Buggerbutt and Extreme Body Mods, describing the graphic torture and assault of multiple men. In the posts, Rogers also discussed cannibalizing the genitals of men he had castrated. Amongst these posts was a first-hand account of Rogers picking up a blonde male hitchhiker, then torturing, mutilating, and murdering him. In the online post, it was claimed that the man's body was buried in a remote area of the Ozarks. Despite this, Rogers denied ever seeing Perry or knowing him, and asserted that the post made was fabricated and purely fantasy. Law enforcement, however, suspected the man in question was Perry. While performing a search of Rogers' property, a turtle claw necklace resembling one owned by Perry was discovered in one of his vehicles. In April 2004, Rogers was convicted and sentenced to 17 years in prison for assault and 7 years for performing illegal surgery, as well as 30 years for child pornography, which would run concurrent with the former two charges. At his sentencing, Perry's mother begged for Rogers to reveal his whereabouts, but Rogers denied being involved in the disappearance. Over the next few years, no further leads would come in. However, in June 2009, law enforcement revealed they were completing an excavation of a site in Quitman, Missouri, after receiving a credible tip that Perry's remains may have been located there. Over a period of 2 days, excavators dug a 23-foot deep hole that covered an area of around 20 feet by 40 feet. At the time, another local farmer who resided 1.5 miles east stated that law enforcement had searched his property several years prior, searching for an abandoned well. However, both searches would yield no results.